Hi, we're Falls.
And you're watching the AU Review.
A lot of people you were performing with. Tell me about the strings that were part of the project, because that's one of the first things you notice when you listen to the record. When the strings kick in the first time, it's just like that oomph that you'd never had on record before.
That's really nice to hear, because the strings came out of, I guess, the fact that it was really important to me that Tony Buchan, who made our first EP, was part of this record, because he's been so much a part of us musically and helping us figure out who we were as a band. And so it was really exciting when he came on board to arrange the strings. And he even came and joined us in Omaha for a few days, which was pretty great.
Yeah.
But I think the strings are an element that kind of brings something that is uniquely us to the record, I hope. And yeah, it's nice that it's something that is sticking out to people.
Yeah, and we've been able to utilize that on the road, and when we've been in the US, we haven't taken a whole band around yet, but we've done a lot of shows and festivals just with string quartet, and a lot of people comment on that, because it's not a usual thing that people see. So it's just become something unique, I think.
And that's got to add something, having played together for so long now, it's got to add a nice element to the show for you. You're standing up there and you have that beautiful string quartet kind of come in, and it's just like...
Yeah.
It's like magic.
It is.
Yeah.
For me, it does feel magical every time, because we do so many gigs where it's just the two of us. And the quartet is usually behind us when we play. So it does feel like it comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And it's so beautiful. So any chance I get, we have the strings.
Tell us a little bit about the studio that you recorded in. It's owned by quite a well-known artist.
It is?
Yeah, it's co-owned by Mike Mogus and Connor Oberst, who are both obviously part of Bright Eyes, and they've known each other since, forever, since they were kids growing up in Omaha and playing music together, and they own this amazing space, or they built an amazing space out there called ARC.
They kind of built their dream studio there, and Mike lives on site, and there's a little guest house attached to the studio, and Connor lives next door, and there's a little gate that joins Connor's place to the studio.
Yeah.
So it's a total love-in, and it's great to be able to stay at the studio and really live the record while you're recording it.
But the actual studio itself is, amazingly decked out with every conceivable piece of gear you would need, and pianos and guitars and strange organs and little things. It's just any sound you want to sort of go for, you can grab.
Yeah.
Did that allow you to do anything that you didn't expect for the record? Is there anything that you didn't plan that the studio permitted that you went, let's try this out, let's see how it sounds?
It's a good question, because we didn't really plan very much before we went in there, except we did have an idea about what we wanted to sound like, but it did mean, particularly I think with the organs and Mellotron sounds.
Yeah.
The Mellotron was something that I guess something that we've always wanted to use, but then there came one track where I wanted to put like a mariachi band on one song, and I don't think we had the budget for a mariachi band, so we used the Mellotron, and that was amazing.
It's subbed in for them. But I'd still now be really interested to see you collaborate with a mariachi band for a live version of this.
Well, I just thought that. I was like, actually, I've got a new idea for a gig.
Just call it Mariachi El Bronx next time they're in town. They'll love it.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
So you got your last show in Sydney tonight, and then you're back to the States. And talk me through the next kind of couple of months. You've got the album coming out October 2nd.
Yeah. Well, we're off to Washington, D.C. on Saturday, and we play a show there the next day. And then we start a little run of shows, New York, and then we head on a bunch of shows with Communion, which is, I don't know, if your listeners know Communion as part of, started by Mumford & Sons, and it's a great thing that we're involved with.
It's really cool to be playing the Communion tour because everything that we've done at the Hollywood was inspired by Communion. I'd heard whispers about this night that was happening in London, and that was kind of, I guess, creating this little folk scene there that so many great artists were coming out of, and I was like, we need that in Sydney. And so it's so exciting for us to be playing the Communion tour. Yeah, it's like come full circle.
And then we end up back in LA and we do a few shows there, and yeah, the record comes out.
And then it's out into the world, and and everyone can finally sink their teeth into it.
Yep.
Are you nervous at all? Are you?
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
It's exciting and terrifying because, you know, especially now, I guess we're really itching to get the whole thing out. I think sometimes as artists, it's hard putting one song out into the world because it's never representative of the whole piece, like the whole piece of work that we've just created. And so I'm excited for people to hear the whole thing.
Yeah.
Well, love the record. Can't wait for everyone to hear it. And until next time, wherever we meet.
Yes, somewhere
Somewhere
in the world.
Somewhere in the world. Thank you very much as always.
Thank
Thanks,
you so
Larry.
much for having us.